Hello everyone and welcome to a special Christmas episode of the I'll Try That podcast. Now, at time of recording, it is before Christmas Day and the holidays, before they officially kick off. But time of release, it will be the 29th of December. So we'll be full of stuffing and turkey, and we'll have had leftovers for a few days. And actually, we're almost about to party it up for New Year. So we thought it would be nice, it would be good to hit you guys with an episode which is still kind of holding on to a bit of the Christmas spirit, where Drabbers, Barber and I have each gifted the others a Christmas-styled or Christmas-themed beer, and lovingly wrap them up to each other.
And it's important to note that because it is now post-Christmas, we're not being naughty and opening our presents early, because it's now post-Christmas, right?
Exactly. That's a very clear clarification. We are actually time travelling forward in time, so this isn't us on the naughty list by opening our presents too early.
I like you touching upon the wrapping of the presents, Joe, because I believe, having looked at the presents, I obviously can't see the presents that I gave you guys. I felt like I went middle of the road in terms of my wrapping efforts. And so we are quite clearly, having done this exercise now, the equivalent of the three bears in terms of our wrapping attempts. Joe's done, I must say, a magnificent job.
Thank you.
It's slightly loaded.
I don't think Joe wrapped them.
That's interesting. I think there might have been a bit of cheating going on.
No, I lovingly wrap those presents for you all, boys.
I think I can feel underneath, this is not just wrapping, but there is some kind of box there as well.
Yeah, you can open them. And also there's a little note, a nice note that you'll have to both read out.
A charming little note in nice handwriting and a couple of little stars on it, which is very nice. Far better than my, in quotation marks, just right efforts of a bit of wrapping paper, and sellotaped.
I love how at the top where the bottleneck is, you kind of gave up a bit and just kind of scrunched up into the neck a bit.
I'm not going to lie to you, it was slightly rushed, and I mean I don't want to be patronising here, but baby bear Drabbers. Actually no. Maybe I'm doing you. I'm not doing you enough of a favour. I like this very space age wrapping paper he's used.
He's gone for a future beer look.
Yeah, really shiny, metallic. It almost looks like kitchen foil.
No, look. The reason I did it, for when you put it in the fridge, it keeps the beer colder. Science. It's not because I didn't have any wrapping paper.
It looks snazzy though. And I think
that's all right then.
Keep whatever.
Does tin foil keep things cooler? I know it heats stuff up. It helps keep the heat in.
But because it's shiny, that means it insulates, doesn't it?
Oh, so it does both. Okay, heat, hot and cold. It insulates. Oh, I see.
It reflects heat.
Nice.
Yeah.
So basically, if you were shining a light on it, it wouldn't get as warm as it would if it wasn't there.
I was only thinking of you guys, really. I just wanted you to have the coldest beer experience.
And also,
well, thank you. That's very considerate.
We got a chance to reference GCSE physics in the process. So
now, given that we're recording this before the Christmas period, well, the main bit of the Christmas period, and it's coming live after the Christmas period. I won't ask you guys how your Christmas days were, because that obviously hasn't happened yet. So, have you guys done anything Christmassy to get you in the spirit, in the build up to
at the time of going to air? I'm sure I will have watched Love Actually and A Muppet's Christmas Carol. So,
nice,
yes,
yeah, I've nailed the classics. I think. What about you, Drabbers?
I went to a garden centre today that had a rather large Christmassy selection area. That was pretty festive. I also went to a Christmas market called the Christmas Cracker today, and had a latte. So yeah, that was nice.
Not a mulled wine,
that sounds very
okay.
Christmassy.
Yeah. Santa was there.
And Joe, how's your festive period been today?
Well, we've had a work Christmas party, so nothing kicks off the festive period more than, a bunch of people that you work with all getting drunk together.
Damn.
So that's quite fun.
Yeah.
Which was a raging success, I would say. Met some people for the first time, all because of COVID restrictions. Some people haven't been meeting up anyway, so it was nice to meet a load of people that I hadn't met before, and to learn new things about people that I've been working with in a work setting for the last year and a half, which is good. And then today I did my my pinnacle of Christmassy things. I went to a pine forest where they set up a walk through the woods with all these different kind of lights going off and music and stuff. So yeah, it was very nice actually. We took the dog. He had a good time. He was very excited to be out and about and smelling and seeing all these new sights. So I spent more time just kind of keeping him walking. But yeah, it was good. It was good fun.
Good day out.
I like it.
Let's crack this open. I'm voting tinfoil. I think we all crack
Tinfoil.
open tinfoil.
Okay.
All right.
What on earth have you done, Richard? What on earth is this? Oatmeal and chocolate Santa Stout. Wow.
Well, as we all know, I'm not the biggest stout fan in the world, so I thought I would try and get a stout.
This has been re-gifted, hasn't it? That's what's happened here.
But I was cruising in Lidl, and Lidl surprisingly is actually quite a good craft beer selection. And previous to what I had on my hands was actually some quite nice American IPA that I had. But being a crafty shopper, I was wandering past the reduced section, and what caught my eye was.
I didn't think to check if it was in date.
These three Santa Stouts, oatmeal and chocolate. And I was like, that's exactly what the boys would like. Running it in 86p each, a bottle. I was like, you know what? The boys are going to love this.
You've definitely won the bargain of the presents,
Absolutely.
I think.
If Christmas is one thing, it's a time to be frugal. Remember that.
Nothing tells your family and friends that I love you the most by being frugal.
I love you so much. I got your present for under £1.
Yeah.
From the discount bargain bin section of Lidl.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Well, there we go. And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a whirl. And the oatmeal and chocolate just kind of sold it a bit more for me.
Do you know? I've never had oatmeal, so I don't know if this is.
Well, oatmeal's a very American phrase, but it's quite big. It's like an oat-based drink. Oat-based porridge. It's a take on porridge, isn't it?
It's basically flapjack.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that how you'd refer to it, as oatmeal? Because oatmeal I think of is from the States, and it's like porridge. It's like a different version of porridge.
Like ready break.
Yeah, so a ready break, would you say that's oatmeal?
Yeah, I'd say that's oatmeal. Oatmeal with powdered milk.
It's not, but Drabble says it is. So...
You said that with such authority. Yes, that's what I would. Totally lying. Yeah. You've never referred to ready break as oatmeal before in your life.
Thank goodness we had a representative of the oatmeal advisory board here to tell us that it was indeed.
Yeah. You know what? I'm actually quite enjoying this.
Do you know what?
I tell you what.
Yeah. Do you know what? We all said the same. Do you know what? I'll tell you what. Tell me what. I'll tell you what. Do you know what?
Oh, I'll tell you that. After you've told me yours, I'll tell you mine.
Take me back to my school days.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not...
now, you'd be on Santa's naughty list for that one, Matthew.
Oh dear.
I think what we might actually do... So we're going to also talk about the beer itself, obviously oatmeal and chocolate, but I think as well with all these, we should talk about the Christmassy design that they've done on these bottles as well. And then what we can do at the end is we can rate them and say which one is most Christmassy in everything from the whole experience, from the flavour, the smell, the taste. Obviously, we said the flavour, but and also the look of it as well. So I quite enjoy, just as an aside, we'll do this one. That I quite enjoy the Santa on this Santa's stout. He looks quite mischievous, doesn't he, on the bottle label?
I was going to say he looks hard as nails, and I wouldn't want to mess with this Santa.
There is a bit of a sideways glance there, and Santa is looking down at you as if he has just kicked you to the ground.
Yeah.
Santa is Scottish in this. This is from the Broughton Brewery, and they're born in Scotland in Broughton.
Yeah, I mean he's doing a job to rival the Coca-Cola Father Christmas, who comes apparently in a big lorry every year. He's far more jolly, I'd say.
This Father Christmas has stabbed that Father Christmas. And he's walking away.
Oh, I'm looking at this. So actually, Broughton, it's actually halfway between the English border and Glasgow and Edinburgh.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say this. I mean, obviously he would go for Santa's stout that we're drinking here, but this Santa definitely does not have mince pies and sherry left out for Christmas. He likes a can. And I want to say maybe like a burger or something.
Yeah, I was thinking a burger. Nothing fancy though. Like he doesn't want like any of these pulled pork brisket or this kind of like pulled. You know, he wants like
cheap beef. That's what he wants, isn't it?
Would he splash out for some condiments?
No, he's just,
brown sauce,
he's just
right?
getting the plastic cheese.
Plastic
cheese straight on there.
Brown sauce getting caught in the beard, I reckon, as well. Although, you mentioned this label, Santa is actually, so he's got a Scottish flag outside of him, but he's also, I quite like, mad props, as I've said before, actually got a picture of some hops on the bottle, which is pretty rare for beer, isn't it?
A good sign of a bit of brewery that puts hops on their labels.
And also, I think I heard something about, particularly, as I read, that... quite a green hops are green, but I think there is a particular green sort of colour to hops that are particularly associated with the contents of this bottle, which is a Fuggles hop.
A Fuggles hop?
Exactly. Even though you pour it out and it actually looks like Coca-Cola, don't let the green fool you, basically.
So I'm getting this obviously this chocolatey flavours coming through. The oatmeal, I'm not sure I'm getting so much oat. It doesn't taste quite oaty. Are you guys getting a bit of vanilla? I picked up a bit of vanilla on my nose.
A little bit of vanilla, yeah, and actually, so not too sweet. Also, that when I sort of read the chocolate bit, I know chocolate has also got a sort of bitterness to it, but I wasn't. It's not as sweet, but there is that. I get a little tiny bit of vanilla in there. I bet is that actually on? Have they given sort of, get you. They even suggest.
Am I on the nose? On point for that one.
Oh, BA 10 points. Who's on the good? Who's nice list this year? Was it the good list?
The good list.
Right, chaps. Given we've got 2 more beers to get through in probably hopefully an under half an hour episode, I think we need to start cracking open our next one.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Barber, I love this. So we've just had a Scottish beer, and then we're through and through. We've travelled way down the country into England for this one.
Adnams, right? So you guys, I think, I wasn't with me involved, but I think you did Adnams before. You did Ghost Ship on an episode way back, almost like one of the first few episodes.
Early doors, we did Ghost Ship. And we're quite a fan of their 0.5 version, aren't we?
Which really
Ghost Ship. This is an M&S brew.
Indeed. So Adnams are the ones who brew it for them, but obviously under a sort of license. And so unusual I could get this here because actually Marks & Spencer's, I understand, do a really good thing of trying to stock their shops with beers that are local to you. So I get quite a few of I get them here in the Cotswolds. I get them from sort of the M&S has got like a Warwickshire, it's got some Bristol beers, but they're not from the sort of lesser known breweries from up and down the country. However, they obviously chose this year, this festive period, they wanted to have a Christmas brew, and they've got this the Southwold Christmas Ale, which actually I will now open and give it a bit of a taste to. But I think this is more like almost like a best bitter, isn't it? It's a traditional British ale, but with some of those maybe fruity notes.
Well, that's it. I mean, they're referring to this M&S beer by the Adnams Brewery as a Southwold Christmas Ale. So Adnams is from the Southwold, so that makes sense. But yeah, so what makes a Christmas ale, I suppose? Because it doesn't. Whereas the last one we've just had, which was a Broughton Scottish brewery, where there was the oatmeal and chocolate one, Santa Stout. That was very much a stout. It was very thick, very rich. It was quite chocolatey. This one, as you say, Barbs, it's dark. Has anyone poured it out yet?
Yeah, look at that. It's real dark, chestnutty sort of colour, which actually chestnut. That would be the one for Christmas, wouldn't it?
But it does remind me of more of a kind of a traditional ale, I suppose, like actually an Adnams ale. Funnily enough,
it really does taste like something Adnams would brew. Yeah. I can really taste the hops in it though, which I'm really enjoying. It's not often you get that in a darker ale that the hops really come through.
I'm intrigued by this because I've just reading a bit about why why this brew's about. It's been specifically brewed for the festive season. Okay, it's a Christmas ale, we get that, but it's using only English ingredients, which is quite interesting that they're using that. So they've got double roasted crystal malts and first gold hops create lovely aromas and flavours of fruitcake and prunes. So are you guys getting a bit of sweetness then?
I was a bit, and I was sort of. I felt like I was being led a little bit, and I was thinking, it's going to be spicy, it's going to be dry fruit, it's going to be sweetness with a bit of not quite earthiness, but sort of I'm going to feel like I'm in a forest.
I don't think I've ever eaten a prune.
Oh, you should have some devils in blankets. You know, the prunes wrapped in
Devils
bacon.
on horseback.
Oh, so good. Is that what they're called?
Well, you could have devils in blankets, but that was...
Yeah.
I always thought they were called they're just pigs in blanket, but with prunes instead of sausages.
Yeah, devils on horseback. Unless that's something else, I could stand corrected on that. Dates and bacon,
Yeah.
devils on
Yeah.
horseback, and actually you can put an almond in your date as well. So you have a date wrapped in an almond, wrapped in bacon. Yeah, that's the business. Give that a go.
That does
I
sound
just
good.
don't think there's ever been at a point in my life where a prune's come across my table.
There has, for some reason, over the years, prunes have always had the reputation of being something that people of more advanced years eat, and that they ease your digestive transit, for want of a better phrase.
Ah, okay. So there's a digestion gut thing going on here with prunes.
Yes, you could say we've got a gut feeling about it.
Yeah, it's not something I'd ever go and purchase a prune, if I'm honest. I do like the pigs in blanket, the variations with a prune.
Yeah.
I've had that once before, someone made
It's
it.
just dawned on me, if we've got the hybrids of pigs in blankets and devils on horseback, and we've got devils in blankets, does that mean we can also have pigs on horseback?
Absolutely. I don't even know what devils in horseback are. I need to have a look at these.
Mate, so they should be hitting every Christmas party's lazy Susan for a sort of crudité. Not that we're having any Christmas parties.
Oh, you're absolutely spot on. That the prunes wrapped in bacon are called devils on horseback. Well, I never.
I imagine prunes. I think you can probably interchange them with dates and what's the other one? Fig? No, maybe not a fig.
Oh, I love a fig though.
Figgy biscuit, one of the most underrated biscuits out there. Love a figgy biscuit.
Figgy biscuit.
Yeah.
Is that like a?
Oh, Barber, you're going to love this. Just you were saying there's a devil pigs on horseback.
I think. Hang on. Can I decipher what my
do you think that is?
Clues are giving me a sausage, a little miniature sausage wrapped in dates, wrapped in bacon.
Yeah, with apricots as well. Oh,
Wow,
that's
that
nice.
sounds lovely.
Yeah.
It's a BBC Good Food recipe as well. I might be doing that
Do you
this
know what?
Christmas.
They're cracking for recipes.
I love
BBC
BBC Good Food.
Oh, absolutely the business. But I'm curious about that now.
Well, there you go. I've just sent it around to you boys.
Oh, cheers.
You have to do that in your Christmas hampers. So what are our takes on this? I mean, I would say that M&S and Adnams have paid little to no effort on their label and label design for this Christmas ale. I'm really disappointed with this. It looks like a tacky Christmas paper.
It looks like a budget Christmas card that you'd get from Poundland. It'd be like the ones you gave out in primary school.
That's not been an area of keen investment for them. However, top right hand corner, that's the made with British hops. But I mean, to be honest, I think you said before, didn't you, Joe, that they'd focused on using British produce for it. Oh, excuse me, a fairly classic Christmas colouring with red and gold all the way through. But
and a huge circular bauble with the core content on it in the middle.
It's basically saying this is beer, drink it at Christmas.
Why have they put a load of sheds at the bottom of the label with bottles in?
Because, of course, Christmas is a time, Joe, when lots of people like to drink beer in their shed. I don't know. Sorry, I couldn't think of anything more imaginative.
It's either sheds or their beach. They make me think like those huts on the side of beaches. Maybe that's what it's a link to because Southwold is right on the sea, so maybe it's thinking about that. But it's a bit strange.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I've drunk beer on top of your shed in your old house.
You have?
So that's...
I was there as well, everyone, just before you... Rich just breaking into my house.
I really wish this was the first you were hearing of this. You did what?
That and Lamborghini.
I'm sure my dad, when he was, lovingly building us a nice kind of play den on top of his sheds down the bottom of the garden when we were kids, was thinking, you know what? I hope when they're 18, Joe and his mates will all come and drink beer on the top of these these sheds.
Hang fire, a thought occurs, right? Sorry. Once you get going, you can't stop. We've just said the sheds or beach huts, Southwold, coastal. Is that one of those parts of the world where everyone goes and gets in the sea on Christmas Day?
Oh, these crazy people. But yes, I think there are a lot of people that do that, right?
I'm planning on doing that this Christmas Day.
Oh, crazy man.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, are you a Speedo wearer or a wetsuit wearer when you go into the sea?
Oh,
The
Speedo.
question on everyone's lips.
It's I will be digging my Speedos out. Do not worry. And I'll be
Are you going to keep the mustache? Everyone, listeners can watch right now. Can listen in that Drabbers is sporting a very nice handlebar mustache.
Yeah, I thought
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah,
I thought he just over eagerly had a sip from a cup of Bovril and then not.
Who drinks Bovril anymore?
Barber, clearly
Yes.
Barber.
You could have said a big eager sip of your Santa Stout, and then it would have all made sense.
1988 calls and it wanted its
A
reference.
really
back.
heavily Nutellaed bit of toast.
Right, let's crack into the last one, shall we?
This beer is quite clearly taking Marks and Spencer and Adams to town on the packaging spend, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was expecting dry ice to come out of the top when I took it out of this lovely cardboard sort of tubing that it's got in.
Oh, you'd have loved it even better if it was just full of like a glitter pop bomb. Like you weren't
Merry.
just covered your whole room in glitter. It's a present.
I've just taken a swig of this. This is delightful. So this is it's called Christmas Ale, so you know you're meant to have it at Christmas. And it's Castle Eden Christmas Chestnut Ale, a classic seasonal winter ale brewed with locally grown barley and English hops.
I don't want to rain on the parade of Santa's stout. This is more chocolatey to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
This is like way more chocolately.
I completely agree. And it doesn't even have chocolate in the title.
No.
Yeah. So I managed to figure out there's a chocolatey flavour here all on my own. So I'm really pleased with that.
You didn't have to be told it on the label. It just came to you.
Yeah. Well, no, this is like hot chocolate but cold.
You're right. This is a hot chocolate beer.
Would some
you've
call it a
nailed it.
chocolate milkshake, Barber?
Wow, you're onto something, mate. You're going to make millions with that idea.
Are you guys getting the nuttiness from the
I
chestnut?
get a chestnut hit as well.
Yeah. I get it, but the thing that smacks me around the chops is the chocolate. It is cocoa-y, big time.
To say another thing for this Castle Eden's chestnut Christmas chestnut ale, I think they've nailed the Santa. The Santa looks very jolly, which is probably what he should be on a Christmas beer, and not very angry and disappointed that you've picked him up and you're looking at him like the oatmeal Christmas stout was.
I like, yes, this image of Santa has him sort of semi-triumphantly holding up, like almost like a tankard of
It's almost
beer.
like a wooden beer mug or something.
And he's just kind of the expression on his face also kind of just says, "Is this anyone's? Because if not, I'm going to drink it."
Yeah, that's a good point. Or he's like at a party. This is like someone dressed up at a party and Santa been like, "Is this anyone's?"
This is basically he's returned back to the grotto and he's looked over at Mrs. Claus and he's like, "I think I've now delivered all the presents. I didn't happen to miss Bolton again, did I?" She's about to give him the shake of the head, saying, "No, you're fine. You can have a drink now." And he's gone, "Yeah, baby, give me a chocolate Christmas ale."
All right.
So yeah, I'm quite liking this Castle Eden Christmas, and the fact that they came in a nice little tube, like kind of a nice gifts experience.
Did you buy this from the Castle Eden? Did you go to the castle to get it?
Yeah, I was at Castle Eden.
You stormed it
itself. Yeah, I went all the way to Castle Eden to the to Seaham SR7 7PS, the Spectrum Business Park. Don't even know where that is. No. It's kind of got rid of a bit of the mystery around Castle Eden, hasn't it? The business park.
That was all meaningless to us. You need to say the what 3 words location for
Yeah.
it, and then we'll go, "Oh yeah, I know what you mean." But this is really nice. This is like, to me, this is maybe like your Christmas day is winding down, and you actually do need a beer to almost just wash over, because the Christmas day itself can actually be pretty hard work sometimes. This is almost one to, like, you could maybe you've even had a bit of pudding, but maybe like, the younger members of the family have now gone to bed and you're still up, but you're watching Die Hard.
Of course. It's a classic Christmas.
Christmas film out there.
And you have a little sip on this just before you might knock it on the head in a minute.
Now, a question to you folks. when is the right time for a Christmas ale? I think you're saying, Barb, that you're after later on. You know, like you maybe have one as kind of to tie the night down. Travis, what about you? When would you pick up a Christmas ale?
I would pick up a Christmas ale in the build up. So you got the 3 days before Christmas. So the 3 days before Christmas, or once you've officially broken up from work for Christmas.
Okay, I think I'm kind of with you on that. I don't think I would really necessarily pick up a Christmas beer on Christmas Day itself. Obviously, if you've been gifted one, that's something slightly different. You know, maybe you've got people coming over and it's one of these, it's not like a Christmas beer. All of these three that we've had would be nice stocking fillers, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's a nice stocking gift for someone who likes beers, you know, chuck one of these in. My personal favourite would be this Christmas ale from the Castle Eden Christmas. I think it does a good kind of combination of the two. It's not too dark and stouty like the, kind of the chocolatey, but you get more chocolate out of this Christmas chestnut ale. I think the Adnams one would work, but I'm kind of a bit lost that it's not by a brewery, you know, directly, like it's through M&S. And it looks a little bit generic. As someone as, you know, I like my beer brands and I like, you know, coming from breweries directly. I know Adnams have brewed that because it tastes like an Adnam beer, but I want it to be packaged up in more of an Adnams style, I suppose.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I think I'm with you, Joe. I'm loving this Christmas ale from Eden's Castle. It is delightful. From that first sip, and it hasn't got any worse when I've gone down. You know, sometimes you have it and you're like, oh, that's really nice. Then you keep going, you're like, oh, no, that's a bit too much. Because you just kind of, it's basically you're eating a chocolate cake in liquid form. So I think it just gets a little bit too much. But then I did quite enjoy the Burriton, and it only cost 86p, which is an absolute banger. And I really like you boys, but literally 86p was all I was going to stretch to.
I like the idea that you potentially forewent the like a £1.25 option. Man, it doesn't look Christmassy enough, so bin that off. But I think I'd agree the Christmas ale, because ultimately I think you're really asking several questions here, folks. But the Christmas ale is also, I think if I'm having a Christmas ale, it comes but once a year. I want something actually a little bit different to things I might drink regularly. I actually really like that Adnams, but to a certain extent, I think I would say that's more of a subtle nod to the festive season than the others. Because the Christmas ale from is it Eden?
Yeah, Castle Eden
is Castle Eden. Yeah, is really hey, give this a try. This is something a bit different. And actually, it is important. I think the Santa Stout was very nice. It's more of a stout, I'd say. But I think I found it a little bit conflicting that one promised chocolate and delivered you quite a subtle chocolate, whereas the Christmas ale stole its thunder, I think, a little bit with the chocolatiness.
The chestnut version. Well, I was just looking up now. I was a bit curious. Pre this, what makes a Christmas beer? Obviously, we know Christmas beers, seasonal beers are very popular all throughout the year, different types of seasons. But the Christmas one takes it to another level. Everyone seems to have a Christmas beer of some description or a seasonal offering over the Christmas period. And really, like, this has become a huge trend through, English, Belgium and Germany brewers, from I'm saying way back when, but it's like it started like hundreds of years ago. But they started creating these warmer ales and lagers that were more robust in both in colour, aroma, flavour and alcohol. So these beers weren't ever designed to quench a thirst. And I'm reading this, but to sustain a soul through the dead of winter. I don't know, I've got a bit of poetic license there with that, but it's more about trying to like warm you through the winter period than it is to, grab a beer because you've run a marathon or something, or you're in the heat of summer and you want to like
warm
quench your thirst.
A bit, I suppose.
That's it. So that's why I think we get, and obviously naturally you get these taste buds of kind of Christmas cookies, ginger, desserts, chocolate. You kind of get these kind of berries and quite like heavier berries, so dried fruits. You get a lot more of that, cinnamon. Yeah, inspired ingredients being used.
All your Christmas pudding. Well, your Christmas pudding's got brandy butter on, and like brandy is quite a Christmassy flavour, isn't it? But my dear old mum was saying to me earlier, actually, for a lot of Christmas time drinks. I'm sorry, I know we're a beer podcast after all, but apparently what you should maybe go for is a bit of rum, particularly in your puddings and that sort of thing. But I'd say that particularly the Adnams one there is probably more in the line of that sort of fruitier brandy style pudding. I wouldn't expect myself to, but I really like the Castle Eden chocolatey job.
It's just growing on me more and more. I couldn't drink loads in a hit, but right now, I can.
And also I think each of them, you're only going to have one, aren't you? Let's be honest. You aren't going to do, as you've just pretty much alluded to, Joe. You're not going to have loads of these.
I couldn't sit, especially on Christmas Day, I couldn't sit and drink more than one of these. I think this would be a stocking filler, like a nice end to the... Maybe I'd have it in the end of the evening, as you say, Barber, because it does feel like these pair better after you've had some desserts because of the type of ingredients that you'll have consumed. But I've traditionally myself had them more where Drabbers was at, where it's like kind of before Christmas. Yeah. You know, you have a Christmas beer, kind of getting you into the Christmas spirit. What maybe what that article was saying, more like kind of getting into your soul about Christmas. I don't know.
Well, actually, I was thinking, like, I found today has been a little bit more mild, but actually each of these I would probably even receive these even more willingly on the days when it's colder, you know, as you said, because that's kind of the purpose of them ultimately.
The summary, I guess, is the three that we've had: the Broughton Oatmeal and Chocolate Santa's Stout, the M&S Southwold Christmas Ale by Adams Brewery, and the Christmas Ale by Castle Eden. All, I think, good picks. If you've got a stout, then, you know, go for something chocolatey. Oatmeal-y from the Oatmeals and Chocolate Stout. If you want something chocolatey, go for the Christmas Chestnut Ale by Castle Eden. And I think if you're wanting an all-rounder, but Christmas beer, like a winter warmer, then the Adnams Christmas Ale is a solid choice throughout your festive period.
And the best thing about this is when you're listening to this, you'll have to wait until next year before you can go and buy them. So that's pretty cool.
Actually, or if the shops have any of them left over, you might even be able to get them for less than 86p. Hey guys, but what's Father Christmas's favourite musician?
I don't know.
Elvis Presley.
Well, on that note, thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your year, and we'll see you in 2022.
Ho, ho, ho.
And that's all we have time for this week's episode of the I'll Try That podcast. And so from me, Joe, Rich,
Barber,
and Simo.
Goodbye. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram,
Twitter, I'll Try That Podcast.com.
And watch us on YouTube.
Goodbye now.